One singer, a quiet, emotional song, and a title promising a massive fight between the coaches. The audition of Ava Nat on NBC's The Voice has the internet buzzing, but maybe not for the reasons you'd expect. The video title screams drama, but what really happened has sparked a fascinating debate online. People are divided. While three coaches turned their chairs ready to battle it out, a huge portion of the audience was focused on the one coach who didn't turn, and that's just the beginning. Wait until you hear why some viewers are calling this the best audition of the season, while others say they feel like they're being gaslit by all the hype. This performance was anything but simple, and the public reaction is even more complex. Before we dive into one of the most talked about auditions of the year, make sure you hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. You won't want to miss our breakdowns of all the moments that have everyone talking. Now, let's get into the controversy that has everyone picking a side. The first thing that grabbed everyone's attention was the video's title, Coaches Fight Over Ava Nat. But as soon as people watched, they flocked to the discussion boards with a big question. Where was the fight? One person put it bluntly, saying, "I don't get the title of this video. There was no fight over Ava." Many agreed, feeling that the battle between the coaches was passionate, but not the all-out war they were promised. This led to a bigger conversation. What really made this audition so compelling? The real drama, it turns out, wasn't between the coaches who turned, but in the debate over the one who stayed put, Michael Bublé. Viewers were completely baffled. One asked, "Was Michael present? Did he hear what we all just heard? Come on, she was so good." It became a mystery that took over the entire conversation. People started coming up with theories. One viewer joked, I get why Michael didn't turn. He's trying to be the first coach in voice history to win without turning for the person in the audition. What a sneaky guy." But others offered more serious analysis. A very detailed opinion suggested that Michael values storytelling above all else. This person argued he values a great storyteller more than pitch. She isn't a good storyteller and her pitch isn't perfect, but she has an excellent tone. They went on to say that other coaches, like Snoop and Niall, prioritize tone, which explains why they turned so quickly. It's a fascinating theory, that each coach is listening for something completely different, and Ava's voice just didn't check Michael's #1 box. Still, many felt it was a huge missed opportunity, with one person calling her one of the most deserving of a 4-chair turn this season. So, let's talk about the voice that caused all this division. From the moment Ava Nat began singing Gracie Abrams' "I Love You, I'm Sorry," the internet was flooded with praise for her unique sound. A wave of viewers were completely captivated. People described her vocal quality as naturally effortless, saying she was just flowing through the lyric and vibing with the music. Her tone was the main event. People called it beautiful, pure, smooth, and clean. The praise just kept rolling in, with many calling her tone the standout feature of her performance. Many felt her voice had a cinematic quality. One person said she sounded like a Disney princess, a sentiment echoed by another who said she could totally sing for Disney. Others heard something more modern, comparing her to Olivia Rodrigo with a very storytelling and theatrical voice. The phrase "dark horse" even started popping up, with one viewer boldly stating, "Calling it now. She is 100% a dark horse this season. Such a seasoned voice." However, for every person who was completely enchanted, there was another viewer hitting pause and asking, "Wait, what am I missing?" A significant number of people felt that the coaches and the online praise were overlooking some noticeable technical issues. One viewer summed up this feeling perfectly, saying they felt like they were being gaslit by all the positive reactions. They pointed out, her pitch was off and she has pretty bad breath control. They acknowledged it could have been nerves, but were still shocked that others were calling it a faultless performance. This sentiment was shared by others who felt something was slightly off. "Something small was missing from this performance," one person wrote, adding that it felt a little too theatrical. Another went even further, saying, "I'm sorry, she's cute, but I'm not hearing it. I'm hearing High School Musical. Maybe that's why Michael didn't turn." This is the core of the debate surrounding Ava Nat. A voice that some hear as angelic, original and emotionally connected, while others hear a talented but flawed singer who needs more polish. It's this exact raw potential, however, that makes her journey on the show so compelling. A huge part of any blind audition is the song choice. And Ava's selection of a Gracie Abrams track was a bold move that became another hot topic of discussion. This wasn't a big, belted-out power ballad. It was intimate, subtle, and lyrical. For many, it was the perfect choice. One person declared, OMG, the perfect song for her, while another celebrated how she absolutely nailed it and did it justice. Fans loved that she brought something current and artistic to the stage. One of the most interesting takes was from a viewer who loved her rendition so much. They said, I love how they made the song bigger at the end. Now I want the studio version of Gracie Abrams to sound like this. It was a huge compliment. Suggesting she didn't just cover the song, she reinterpreted it. Her ability to connect with the lyrics was also a highlight. People felt she had a cool presentation and praised her for the way she attacked the song, a specific moment that caught people's ear was what one viewer called the scooping part, which they described as extra special. But of course, not everyone was convinced. The subtlety that many loved was seen as a weakness by others. Some felt the song lacked the wow factor needed for a blind audition, which could explain why it took the coaches a moment to turn. One interesting observation was that while it's a Gracie Abrams song, Ava almost made it sound country, which could showcase her versatility or suggest she hasn't quite found her own distinct genre yet. Beyond the technical debates and the coaching drama, there was a moment in the audition that united almost everyone, the reaction of her family backstage. As the coaches' chairs began to turn, the camera cut to her parents and their emotional response was palpable. Viewers absolutely loved this. Watching families get emotional over their loved one's success is one of my favorite things to see on The Voice, one person wrote. Another added simply, the parents' reaction is so touching. It was a powerful reminder of the human story behind every performance. One person even pointed out a hilarious and heartwarming moment, quoting the dad at the 42-second mark, who saw a coach about to turn and excitedly said, I knew it. I saw it in his eyes. These moments of pure, unscripted joy are often what make the show so special. And it was clear that Ava has an incredible support system behind her. With 3 coaches, Niall Horan, Gwen Stefani, and Snoop Dogg vying for her, Ava had a tough choice to make. But online, the public had already made the decision for her. The overwhelming consensus was clear. She belonged with Team Niall. The predictions came pouring in. She could totally sing for Disney. I hope she picks Niall, one viewer wrote. Another stated confidently, she's totally picking Niall. The reasoning behind this was just as consistent. People felt Niall, with his background in songwriting and his focus on lyrical connection, was the perfect mentor for an artist like Ava. One person explained it perfectly. I think she chose Niall because she mentioned the connection of lyrics like he did, and I think that made her drawn to him, another agreed, saying, she should and I bet she will pick Niall. He will give her the perfect songs to work with. While Snoop Dogg's unique coaching style earned some fun shout-outs, like one viewer loving his use of the word showwomanship, the energy online was undeniably leaning in one direction. The audience saw a natural pairing between Niall's mentorship style and Ava's artistic instincts. So, what's the final verdict on Ava Nat's audition? It's clear her performance was anything but forgettable. She entered the stage with a quiet song and left with a roaring debate in her wake. The public is split. On one hand, you have a massive group of fans who believe she is the next big thing, a dark horse with a record-ready voice that could win the whole competition. They heard originality, emotion, and a tone that stands out from everyone else. On the other hand, you have a skeptical group who heard nerves, pitch problems, and a performance that wasn't quite ready for the big leagues. They believe the hype might be overshadowing the need for more technical refinement. But a divided audience is an engaged audience. Ava Nat has already proven she's a performer who makes people feel something, even if they can't agree on what that feeling is. She's been called a future winner, a Disney princess, and a high school musical character all in one day. If that's not making an impact, I don't know what is. What do you think? Was this one of the best auditions of the season, or did the coaches turn too quickly? Did her unique tone win you over, or were the technical flaws too hard to ignore? And most importantly, do you think she made the right choice for her coach? Let us know your full take in the comments below. We can't wait to see what you have to say.